Welcome back to another episode of HealthCap Weekly Wrap.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. We've got a packed lineup today. Everything from disaster planning tips and a major measles update to new tech for virus detection and a comfort tool that residents are loving.
Right? And there's even a new app from the Alzheimer's Association that's getting a lot of attention from care teams and families.
Plus, some eye-opening research on diabetic foot ulcers, a fresh compliance memo from CMS, and a quick look at how bioluminescence might just change how we test for viruses.
So let's get into it, starting with how your community can stay ready before the next big storm hits.
Right, did you catch the PharMerica webinar on disaster management?
Yeah, I skimmed through the recap, but give me the rundown. Anything new?
Totally. It was all about how senior living communities can plan ahead for things like wildfires, hurricanes, even power outages. The key message? You can't wait until something happens. Preparedness has to start now.
Makes sense. Did they go into specifics?
They did. They talked about identifying potential risks to your specific community, like are you in a flood zone or an area prone to snowstorms, and then building a step-by-step disaster plan around that. The goal is to keep operations running and make sure residents continue getting their medications and care even when everything else is disrupted.
That's huge. I mean, just think about how quickly things can fall apart without a plan in place. Did they mention medications specifically?
Yes, actually. One of the presenters, TJ Griffin from PharMerica, emphasized making sure you have a plan for med delivery, like having backup suppliers or systems in place if your regular pharmacy can't get through.
Right, because it's not just about shelter and food, it's about clinical continuity too.
Exactly. And they even gave tips on how to train staff, run drills, and update protocols seasonally, so it's not just a binder sitting on a shelf.
I love that. It's proactive instead of reactive. Definitely something every administrator should revisit before winter rolls in.
Totally agree. And if you're in a part of the country that's been hit hard recently, this is your signal to get those plans dusted off and updated. And hey, if you're looking for more tools, HealthCap has a 2025 Emergency Preparedness Manual that's a perfect complement to the PharMerica webinar. It's a great resource to have alongside your planning efforts.
All right, switching gears to public health. Have you seen the latest MMWR report from the CDC?
Yeah, that one with the measles numbers?
Exactly. As of mid-April, there have been 800 cases reported in the U.S. this year, and get this, 82% of them are just in New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Texas.
Wow, that's a serious cluster. That's not just a few isolated cases, that's a full-on outbreak.
It is. And of those 885 people were hospitalized, and 3 have died. The report really emphasized that providers need to be on high alert, especially for symptoms that might look like a common cold, fever, rash, cough, but in combination with travel or known exposures.
So it's all about catching it early, especially in communities where a few unvaccinated people could lead to big trouble.
Right, and making sure vaccination records are up to date. It's a good time for senior living communities to do a quick audit and make sure residents and staff are covered, or at least know where they stand.
Definitely. It also included some reminders on Lassa fever. There was a rare U.S. case from a traveler returning from Liberia.
Oh wow, we don't hear about that one often. But it just shows how global travel can bring rare illnesses into local communities.
Exactly. It's a good reminder to always ask about travel history when someone comes down with unexplained symptoms, especially if they're not responding to antibiotics.
And the section on tobacco cessation in behavioral health facilities was eye-opening too.
Right, counseling is being offered in over half of facilities, but fewer than half offer medication support, and even fewer have tobacco-free policies.
Room for improvement for sure, especially when you consider the impact of smoking on both physical and behavioral health.
So, this next one's a little more technical, but really important for compliance folks. CMS just released a revised memo on CLIA applicability.
Yeah? What's the change?
It clears up when CLIA rules apply to lab tests involving organ and tissue donations. Basically, if you're testing a donor for suitability, whether they're brain dead or circulatory death, it falls under CLIA. But if you're testing the actual organ or perfusate outside the body, that's not subject to CLIA.
So the distinction isn't who or what you're testing. That's helpful.
Exactly. And the update even includes a revised table outlining which scenarios are covered.
Not something most care staff are dealing with daily, but for facilities connected to transplant networks or hospice care, it matters. And for anyone responsible for regulatory compliance, it's worth reviewing the memo just to stay in the loop.
Now, this one really caught my attention. It's a new study out of the Diabetic Foot Consortium.
Oh, the one about skin healing and water loss?
Yep. They found that people with high transepidermal water loss, basically when the skin isn't fully sealed, are more likely to have diabetic foot ulcers reopen, even after they've healed.
That's huge, because we usually think a wound is healed once it closes over.
Exactly. But this study suggests we might need to look deeper, literally. TEWL could be used as a biomarker to predict if a wound's going to come back.
Did they give any numbers?
They did. People with high TEWL had more than double the recurrence rate within 16 weeks.
Wow, so this could really influence how wound care is managed in our communities?
Absolutely, especially since DFUs are a leading cause of amputation. Early warning signs could change everything.
And what stood out to me is how non-invasive the test is. Just a little handheld device that measures water loss through the skin.
That's great, especially for residents who already deal with so many pokes and prods.
Okay, let's bring some good news into the mix. The Alzheimer's Association just launched a new app.
Oh yeah, the MyALZ Journey app. I've heard a few care teams already talking about it.
It's made specifically for people who are newly diagnosed with dementia and their care partners. It's free, easy to use, and has planning tools, education, and local resources all in one place.
Love that it's co-designed by people living with dementia. Makes it feel more real world.
Right? And it adapts as the user's journey evolves, so it stays relevant. It even connects folks directly to their local Alzheimer's Association chapter.
That's huge for reducing isolation and confusion after a diagnosis.
Exactly. It's like a digital care companion in your pocket. And with over 7 million Americans living with Alzheimer's, the demand for support is only growing.
This feels like a step in the right direction, especially for empowering residents and families early on.
All right, you want to talk cutting edge? Let's talk about this new diagnostic tech that uses bioluminescence.
Bioluminescence? Like glow-in-the-dark testing?
Pretty much. Scientists developed this thing called the Lucas system. It's a portable, battery-free device that can detect viruses like HIV, Hep B, COVID, all in under 23 minutes.
No power needed?
Nope. And it's over 94% accurate. Uses an enzyme cascade system to boost signal strength and duration. Super sensitive, super fast.
That could be a game changer for infection control, especially in outbreaks.
Exactly. Imagine being able to screen right in the community without sending samples to a lab.
That's the kind of tech that saves time and lives. And not just for COVID. They tested it on respiratory and bloodborne viruses, which means it could have wide applications.
Plus, it's compact and automated. That makes it more realistic for use in the field.
And let's wrap with something simple but powerful, the Comfort Menu from the Center of Excellence for Behavioral Health in Nursing Facilities.
Oh, I love this. It's just a checklist of non-medication comfort options that residents can pick from, like warm blankets, soft music, or even prayer.
Right, and the beauty is that it's totally personalized. Residents get to choose what helps them feel calm, comfortable, or more in control.
Exactly. It's about honoring dignity and preferences without defaulting to meds.
It also gives staff better insight into what really works for someone.
Yeah, and I think it supports a trauma-informed approach too, giving residents choices and respecting their needs.
For communities focused on reducing antipsychotic use or behavioral interventions, this is gold.
And it's easy to implement. Clipboards, laminated checklists, even digital versions. It's low effort, high return.
And that's going to cover it for this week's HealthCap Weekly Wrap.
Thanks for joining us. For links to all the stories we covered, visit the weekly roundup on Angie's blog at healthcapusa.com/Angie's blog.
Take care, and we'll see you next time.